Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service. Through diverse events, social and virtual gatherings, we provide connections, resources, benefits, and education.
And as I've
Strong bodies harbor resilient minds. Your support unleashes the true potential of these national heroes. Stand with us in nurturing success and creating a positive environment for mental and physical health alike.
Wait, stop what you're doing right now and check this out.
Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service. Through diverse events, social and virtual gatherings, we provide connections, resources, benefits, and education.
and as I've
Strong bodies harbor resilient minds. Your support unleashes the true potential of these national heroes. Stand with us in nurturing success and creating a positive environment for mental and physical health alike.
My Veteran Passion is a 501c3 federally recognized nonprofit designed to help the community's mental health through physical fitness and virtual gatherings to aid veterans in transition to their local communities and prevent veteran suicide. The views expressed by individuals are individual ideas. MVP does not condone the use of sexist, racist, or discriminatory statements or remarks. This is an adult conversation.
Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. This is the MVP Morning Mix. We're going to hang out. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about types of anxieties and identifying anxieties. Oh, snappage. Oh, snappage. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Jayski.
Yo.
We got Java Jayski in the house today right now. Ooh. What's up, Fez? How's it going?
Good. What up, man?
Burn. So, oh, there's a blinking sound.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
What kind of car
That's
does
my
that sound
seatbelt.
like?
I'm sorry.
Oh. What kind of car is that?
Subi Dubaru.
Oh, Dubaru, yeah.
You guys made fun of me the other day for
Yeah,
it.
I remember.
Why do you drive a
remember.
Subaru?
Because I'm gay.
What was that video? What was that video clip from? Where the woman's like, "I drive a Subaru because I'm gay."
No, it's in a movie. It's in a movie.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's funny, but yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to the MVP Morning Mix. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about anxiety management. So, anxiety is the big topic. Fez, you mind muting?
Yep.
Anxiety. You know, a lot of us don't know how to manifest it. We don't understand what it is sometimes, and then they're like, "Oh, bro, you had an anxiety attack." I was like, "What does that even mean?" And speaking about movies and series and stuff like that, I think it was Ted Lasso where like he didn't know he was having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, which is part of like those disorders. And there was a big thing because we don't get taught that. Like, who knows, you know? Like, it's hard when you're not around it, or if you're manifesting something like that, and you don't even know it. Hey, good morning, Pandora, Misfits, Bullet. How's it going?
Rawr.
Are we robing
Rawr.
today or no?
Don't do me like that. You know I'm in the robe.
Ooh,
I just I don't know if I'm fully presentable. Is it okay to be naked in a robe?
we're streaming as well. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, you streaming?
Yeah,
Don't be this
of
way. You know
course
I
I'm
know you
streaming.
streaming. That's why my camera's off.
Also,
Takes a moment to get myself fully sexy. You know I got to brace myself before I turn on this camera. Sometimes I shock myself when I see myself. I'm like, oh, hold up, who that man? Sometimes I forget how I look.
and today, hey, Doro, Alicia, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. Rawr.
Right, right.
She says rawr.
Rawr. Sometimes you wake up and you gotta feel like that. I seen it was you who posted. In fact, you put a few days ago. I seen you post a morning thing. There was a little boy in the high chair.
Mhm.
He was like, "Rawr." Mhm.
Yeah,
That's how you gotta tackle the morning.
that's right.
Sometimes when you wake up and that you open your eyes and you want to be like, "Rawr," I don't. It's like "Rawr," and then I smile and I'm like, "Morning."
Um, yep, that's why JC's got some Java going on over there. He's got the Java flowing, you know.
A Java?
Java Java baby.
Oh, you coffee fiend.
Also, speaking of, today's Earth Day. And for those that didn't know, yesterday was Wella's birthday. So let's say happy belated birthday to that handsome fella right
Be belated. What? What? Hold up,
Happy
hold up. Let's take
birthday.
shots. Is it too early to take shots?
there.
1 year closer to death, gents.
Oh. No, you're supposed to say when you're closer to divinity.
Mm, I don't
Eventually,
know.
you're just gonna ascend.
Coffee is
I'm gonna
life,
turn to
sister.
dirt.
Or descend. Either way.
Hey, I'm going to be providing Earth Day in about like 35 years when I
Yeah.
disintegrate and become dirt, and I'm going to plant something new. So, hey,
That's kind of one of my dreams since we're already there. I mean, yeah, it's in my will and testament. I want to be cremated and
Put into a tree or be
fertilized
made
up.
a tree or something.
No, I want to be. Look, we redoing How High, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Sprinkle me in some cannabis. Give me a couple months. Somebody smoke. Let me see if I can come back so we can have a
uh,
reunion, okay?
deal. I volunteer as
Thank you.
tribute.
All right.
hey, Doc, hey,
Yeah.
not to be morbid or anything, but I don't know if we've ever had that talk, but or if you've ever had talk with your loved ones, like what you
Leaky,
want,
thank you
like
for
when you
that
pass
raid,
away.
big dog.
But
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
dude,
very much, my man. Hope you have a
I had
good
that
time.
talk about 2 weeks ago, and I was
Your
like,
slash.
damn, that's crazy.
While I was watching.
Because you have all these people, you know, that like die in car accidents and shit, and it's like, what if you didn't want that wish? What if it's like, I don't want to be cremated, I want to be buried, but then they cremate him anyway,
Hop in,
Yeah.
hop in, hop in.
you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where'd you go?
But I mean, like,
Wait,
yeah, but how would you know?
where you at? Oh,
Like,
there we
there's so much they can,
You're
you
not here, so
know?
how would you know?
How would you know?
I
That's
don't know. I think it's like a moral thing. It's like, hey, this is kind of what, you know, my mom's like, hey, you're gonna do this, this, and this when I die, and I was like, okay. But some people don't get that chance, you know.
yeah,
So it's like,
you're right.
I'd want to like give her wishes to her, you know, even though she wouldn't know. But yeah, like I thought about that a couple days ago, and I was like, damn, like that's a sucky conversation to have. But I think it's one you have to have, and like have a will and, you know, power of attorney already set up. And I know we did that in the military.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we set this up prior. Um, But yeah, like nowadays you don't know. So um, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know, it's
No,
just something to
it's
think about,
yeah.
something to put out in their universe.
No, I definitely get you, and I see what you're saying. Where you want, because you're the type of person that probably will respect that person's wishes if they wish to do this, right, or to whatever it is. Um, I get it, and I see what you're saying. I mean, it was your birthday, so you have to think about, if you celebrate life, you also have to contemplate death, type of thing. You know what I mean? And it's okay to accept it. A lot of us had to accept it at a very young age, and then our behaviors changed. But we have to go back to be almost like understanding of it and helping others understand, I think, because a lot of us are afraid of that, and it's a hard view, but we have to normalize it as well, you know, just like we have to norm.
Bring the draft back. It's too soft. I don't like it. I don't like it. The way you're saying it is like literally is just is it's explaining more the reason why. Because I mean, personally, even with like when we were in the military,
Mm-hmm.
doing that pre-deployment checklist
Mm-hmm.
of oh my God, it's I got to do a will and testament.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
seeing my junior Marines' faces, like well, you like yes, you knew you might die. There's a possibility. What you thought when you was in boot camp on the range that you're just gonna be shooting at paper targets for
Yo,
forever?
I was trying to
Like
go to
no,
a
no.
hospital. What are you talking about? And I ended
No,
up in
Doc, no,
Chow.
no.
Like,
Even you know, there's a possibility if I have to go on a deployment, the bad guy sometimes shoots bombs onto the base. And what do they target? Chow halls and hospitals. It's not like they these people know come on, it's war. I'm gonna just put it
yeah.
that way, it's war. So seeing young people's faces light up when they're doing their first will and testament, I feel like that should be something everyone has to do across the board. Bring back the draft. Like children nowadays don't understand that. Some kids grow up, go to Yale, Ivy League degree, go get a job, and then some crazy veteran who hasn't got his check from their company who when he put in actual hours of labor there after he probably got out of military and he's coming in with a gun, that Ivy League dude ain't gonna know what to do. He gonna freak out. Hypothetically.
He's going to be scared of guns because they frighten him.
This is 9 out of 10 true. He spent too much time frat partying and whatnot.
Yeah,
The wrong
but
frat parties.
I mean, we could all create that scenario in our head where we can make it a positive on our argument that we're trying to do. Quick pro quo. Like I can make an argument in a positive forms to counter argue. You know what I mean? But I
This is
see what
true.
you're saying. Um, but yeah, it's what you're talking about. It's maybe some type of like anxiety or something. You're like, nah, I don't want that. It could be kind of like and that's what we're talking about. How does everyone experience this type of anxiety in various points in your life, and how they're intensify your fear or distress becomes like overwhelming and prevents us from doing like everyday activities. Like imagine the doomsday like feeling they had when they were about to sign, like in case of death, hey, do your will, like, do your letter and keep it close to you. You know what I mean? Like you're right. That can create a lot of anxiety. And under.
And like pick a family member, because don't pick your buddy, because if your buddy dies right next to you, then you guys are both screwed. Nobody gets your beneficiary. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
I thought a lot of that too out of the juniors. It was like, hey, do you want to be my beneficiary? I don't have anybody, and I was like, no, no, not today.
And
Uh, so yeah, I don't know. It was just something I was thinking about yesterday too. I was like, man, 37 years, and what if I died tomorrow? Would my family know like what to do with me, or where to bury me actually, like, or what to do? So yeah, it was just something to think about, and I guess over the years I've had like anxiety about it, like you said, and I was like, dude, like, what if I live forever? What if I outlive all these fools, and then I have to do this, but
Yeah.
technically I'm not going to. So yeah, it was just something I was thinking about.
Man, you just gave me anxiety.
See?
It's something to think about because you have to think this is life, but that doesn't mean you can't understand those symptoms in order to, um, you know, gather yourself in order to be able to converse about something like a persistent worry or obsession of a small or like this large of concern is a symptom of like anxiety, restlessness, obviously fatigue. Most of us are tired anyway. um this is a big one for a lot of us, I think, is that if you have difficulty concentrating or your mind keeps going blank, you're like, why am I in this room? What was I supposed to be doing in here? And you have to get out again and go do it, you know? Irritability, clear one of anxiety, sleep disturbance, those are all part of it. And I feel like a lot of our already diagnosis will cross these lines too. And that's a big one because you might think it's this, but it might be that. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to diagnose anyone. You should definitely go to a provider that can do it on a professional level. But you understanding your body and some of the symptoms when you talk about something, when you are thinking about something, that it's very important. You know, we have to identify where it's coming from. You know, mm, but I mean, sometimes it's debilitating. I mean, I remember how I realized that my anxiety went up and down really quick. It's when I would jump in the water. Like if I dive into the water for some reason, like my whole body like tightens up and my my the soles of my feet and my hands, they start itching really bad for like 3 seconds and then it goes away. That's my anxiety. I didn't know that. I was like, what? And then I
So
can
did you
still
notice that before the Navy or after?
I started noticing this probably during.
Because if you said before, I would think you're crazy for going to the Navy then.
No, I never had this problem. And then like again, the stress level obviously went up, 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 up. And when you're
So what I'm hearing is the Navy has given you such anxiety that your palm says is a itch, yeah?
yas, yas.
Okay, let us document this, yes.
Yeah, for some reason, because when you're in the water in the military, you're actually doing something. Like you're training or something, you in and out, like you're not supposed to stay there. When you're in the pool hanging out with your friends, like, the sun, oh, whatever, music is on. But it was different in the military and for me.
No one's
And
trying to choke you out because you're playing underwater football.
yeah, yeah, you're not supposed
Yeah.
you're supposed to put in water into your thing so you can float for like 15 minutes. Like,
Mm-hmm. Who
yeah.
wants that shallow water blackout? What?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Let's go.
um, but yeah, I mean, like some of these things could you might not know, and you don't know what's going on. It can create like social anxiety disorders or like a panic disorder or just general like anxiety and stuff like that. It's something that we have to understand and normalize to say like, all right, why am I feeling this way? Let me step back a little bit more. Slap the water, slap it. That says leak. Morning, Q. Hope the stream goes well. Be lurking. Oh, thank you very much for lurking, Q. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's what we're talking about today. So how do you guys understand, or how do you guys see, or when do you guys, if you can share, like start when your anxiety starts going up? What are some of your symptoms?
Well, I I can say my anxiety started building up there when he was talking about Will and Testament and at
Mm-hmm.
our age. Like, even the thought is at this current moment, like I'm getting ready to go back to school. And I honestly feel like, man, that was one thing in the paperwork that I feel like they probably should have added into the school paperwork, a will and testament with all these damn school shootings. I mean, shit. At the end of the day, I feel like a deployment might have been a little bit safer than going to a college. But I talked my way through it. I just figured, you know what? At the end of the day, I have a will and testament, so I guess it really don't matter. And I'm still gonna have my head on a swivel, so it really don't matter. That's how I deal with anxiety. I downplay it. Or I put myself in a
Yeah.
position where I rationalize it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the goal doesn't change, and I'm not gonna allow a simple fear of, oh my God, what if I step on campus and something happens? Well, shit, that's just I have that thought every time I go out of the house. I'm gonna go to the mall and see what happens today. Oh, I'm gonna go to Walmart and see what happens today. I mean, going on
Yeah.
campus is no different, except all the people that'll be running around like chickens with their heads cut off, screaming. "Ah!" I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
where did I park? Over there. Beam line. Let's go. Get out of Dodge.
Yeah. And you know, I just want to say, super indirectly, and we all already probably know, but just as a reminder, is everybody is responsible for their own safety. Got to read between the lines.
Yeah. So tell us more for those that can't.
Well, for those that can't, there's a lot of colleges that allow you to carry on campus if you are a concealed carrier. So that's how it does read between the lines. I didn't want to frighten anybody, but like I've carried every single time I went to school, every single time. So, um,
You just gave me a new whole thought. I'm over here googling like,
oh,
let me see, where can I go to
oh,
school and carry?
yeah.
Dun, da, 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 da.
So when you shop for backpacks, you can shop for the backpacks that have the concealed carry compartment in between the back and all that stuff. Um, I've been, I've over the last 2 years have transitioned to off body carry, just because I'm fat and I have kids, and when I bend over, my pistol like bothers me. So I'm trying to carry comfortably because I'd rather have it. I know I'm not going to be Mr. Speed Draw, whatever, right? But what are the chances you're ever going to need it? Very slim, right? At least you have it. You're not going to be quick draw McGraw, but having it. So I've transitioned to like a fanny pack, wearing it crossbody. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, because I have the same everything of what I can't scroll down to see his name.
Will it?
Yeah,
The crazy monkey guy. What?
the crazy monkey guy. Everything he said is like I feel the same way. I'm the exact same way. I start my truck from 100 yards away with my remote start as I'm walking across the bridge. Like I know when I park as far and I know my route to get to my class. I printed off the map of the campus and all that stuff. And yeah, there's like, know your campus, know your school. Like there's like I think 2 buildings at my campus where you're not allowed to carry in. So know your laws and stuff. And I'm a big fan of everyone's responsible for your own safety. You know, like same thing at work.
Yeah.
You your work can have every safety measure put in place, but if you're not looking and you're walking and you get hit by a vehicle or you get hit by whatever else, who's really ultimately responsible is you. Will you get some money if you survive it? Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, is that how you want to make your money?
Here comes a Walmart truck. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's something that worries me too. Is that not just for me, but also the people around me. And if you got kids and stuff, like you need to make sure that you can make it home to them. And
Yeah.
you know, you can't just say, "Oh well," and kind of give up. I mean, you could if it was just you, but if you got people that love you and need you, like you got to make sure that you're there and available to them, and you
Yeah.
do everything you can to bring yourself back because they need you.
Yeah. And these specific phobias, like you're saying, like the generalized worried of like something happening on a social everyday situation could be part of some type of anxiety. Now, everyone has their own little phobias depending on their traumas, you know. What you're talking about is because we were people, boots to the ground, but what are the phobias for someone that, was on the other side? What are the phobias of someone that like something really bad happened to them, you know? there's different ways that people express their phobia. Like what you're saying, like I'm sure people um express like, hey, I don't like going through this place at night. Why? Because something's happened there before, and that's what it is, and
Trying to
and
say, Doc,
huh?
feel offended. Feel offended.
you
Won't
know,
invite you over after sunset anymore.
but where is she? Where is she? Alicia said, "How whoever smokes the bullet blunt needs help. The bullet blunt needs help." um,
Maybe, maybe. Sometimes 911 does have to get called.
but yeah, we all have different things on like even like escape modes. Like you said, talked about it, like the fear of being in a situation where escape might be difficult or you wouldn't be available if things go wrong. That could be an agoraphobia, bro.
Well, that's what I get my princess parking for. Because at the front of every store, it's usually well lit up. There's good security. There's constant people walking.
Hmm.
So with my trauma, something that I deal in my daily life or whatever, I get a princess parking, right? The veterans disabled parking. And I mean, honestly, I try not to use the handicap as much as possible, but it's honestly the safest place to park because that's where all the cameras work, that's where all the lights work, and that's where all the people walk.
Yeah, I mean, life happens to us differently, and we deal with it differently. But understanding some of these symptoms of like, hey, why do I do this? And it's okay to, let's say think about it and such like that. But when is it where it takes over some of your lifestyle? You know, it's when it's bad. You don't want like I remember someone had a problem with the first day they were gonna go to work, they had an anxiety attack. Like they couldn't breathe, they were crying, and I was like, "What's going on? Is just work?" But I helped out as much as I could. I said, "Hey, I'll go pick you up. I'll drive you. Don't worry about it, and it's fine." Um, Went to the store, grabbed some water, some cold water. Why? Because again, um, it helps you relax. You have a nerve in the back of your throat. They basically like it gets massaged and stuff like that. Brings down your heart rate, your respirations, and such a little bit. Relaxes you. So got something to drink, took them to work, and they felt better. But the first thing afterwards, and they were like, "Yeah, it was fine afterwards." I said, "Okay, you got to go see someone because this can't happen every time you go to work." Um, and the next day, same thing happened. Eventually, the person went to see a provider, got medications. Eventually, she didn't need the medications anymore. But you got to identify it first. Um, it's hard to identify it because sometimes it's just your lifestyle, and you say, "Hey, um, well, it's just the way I am. It's who I am." And that's fine. But the transition back from the military to the civilian side, we have to figure out how who you are and what happened, how you can come back to normalcy. What is deemed normal, and deemed normal is very different in many aspects and manners. Reality is different than your perception of reality. But at the end of the day, it's the same shit. You know what I mean? So you have to think about that because it's gonna be hard to delineate both. Because some others' reality might be different than yours, but you guys might be perceiving the same reality or the same problem, the same issue, whatever it is. Um, let's see.
Good morning.
Morning, Vappies.
Hey, so I've dealt with anxiety, like a lot of us here have, but I think setting reasonable
Morning, Bossman.
expectations
How's it going?
of what could happen is a big thing. Because if you're constantly worried about what ifs, you're not gonna be able to live your life. If you're constantly worried about every single time I go out, what if somebody attacks me? What if I go to school and the school gets shot up? What if I go outside and a meteor falls on me? Like, there's what ifs everywhere. But what is the likelihood of it actually happening? It's good to be prepared, but if you worry about it too much, it's going to limit your life. You're not going to be able to live your life to the fullest because you're scared of what ifs. Like, do you not drink milk because what if it's bad? Do you not eat food because what if it's not cooked all the way? Like, if you have that problems of what ifs, it's hard to experience life. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. Like, we're used to being boots on the ground. Like, what if we get there and this has happened? Okay, we need to be prepared for X, Y, and Z. You need to have this ready. You got to be, what if they're under fire? What if this? What if that? We're so used to that, a lot of us, because of how we were trained. But that doesn't always equate to you don't always have to have that mindset. Like, it doesn't always have to be, what if this is the worst scenario that happens? Because odds are in this life, like this way we live now, when we were in the military, what if that could have happened a lot more? Here, it's not as likely as much.
Yeah, absolutely. That transition, like we have to start changing that mentality a little bit more, um, of what can happen, and what's the likelihood. And I get it, people saying, well, it happened here, here, here. Okay, well, it's an exception to most rules when it happens, it's not the regular thing that happens. If it was, then we'd all be prepared. If we knew that it was going to flood next week at a specific time and happen every year and all that stuff, and you didn't have a boat or whatever, then that's specific things that we know and that we can control. It's part of the control of maybe what Burntman was saying. I don't know. Is that what you're saying, Burnt? Where like everyone's in charge of their own safety per se?
Yeah, well, I mean, you are. Tell me that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I don't
You're
disagree.
gonna walk across the but yeah, with what Vop says, I agree. I mean, you can't sit there and go every single day thinking, "Oh, hey, there's going to be an attack." But I mean, if it's in your natural set of eyesight, you've been trained for this. You're always looking for this, and it's something that you're just not going to change. Where you're always assessing targets. I mean, especially not just going to school, but having a family, having kids. Like I mean, that's when I'm the most highest alert is when I have my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it is always, and it always has been, everyone's to each on their own of their own uh, whatever they want to do. But I don't think anybody can argue the fact that you are your own. Everyone's responsible for your own safety. So that also being said, yeah, don't go with thinking you're going to be attacked. That's why. Like, I've transitioned to off body carry because I'm not trained. I'm not going for rapid response. I'm going to have it. It's a thing. If you're a concealed carrier, have it, but you got to dress for the comfort because you're not going into combat. Likelihood of having anything happen is very, very, very minimal. That's all.
I'll say
So
that it gives me.
but I think mental health is a crazy thing. And I think we're confusing worries and having worries with an actual like mental health disorder. So, you guys were constantly on guard, on prepare, right? Having to be constantly in that mode. But I want you to think about it in the terms of maybe a domestic violence victim. They lived in a relationship where they constantly had to predict the next move, predict the next thing, right? And so you were both in the same type of situation as far as how your brain works and how your brain eventually, from constantly being in that mode, regardless of the scenario, has trained itself to now be in that high alert mode. How do you identify that? Because I know personally, when I met my previous partner, we were talking about anxiety, and I had no idea. My family didn't believe in mental health. They didn't believe in talking about your feelings. They believed in doing exactly what you say, Bert, man. Shut up,
everyone has problems, get on with it, just move on. You know, you're responsible for yourself and, you know, just shut up and get on with it, right? But I never knew what anxiety was until I met my previous partner and he explained to me, and I'm like, wait, I have that. And from there, it's taken years of work. But if no one had really talked to me about it or explained it, because again, I thought PTSD and that was for people who had been in much more traumatic situations than I had ever been placed in. But it doesn't matter the level of fear. It's how your brain after a consistent period has trained itself to work. How do you identify that that's your issue and then untrain your brain is really the goal. um, and I don't think that we can do that without having these types of conversations, because I guarantee you there's somebody here listening right now who's like, wait a second, that's what's going on with me. You mean other people don't walk around afraid all the time? Because that's what I thought. I'm like, wait, other people don't just like constantly be worried about everything all the time? He's like, no, no, we don't.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes you have to like hear it from someone else because it's no one we didn't grow up with, identification of mental health disorders being a important thing. I didn't grow up that way either, but understanding these feelings and like why do you have to worry about this? Why do you have to worry about that? And sometimes it's something you can't control, but you're constantly worried and you change your lifestyle because of it, you know? I never thought about it that way. Thank you.
Thank
Something
you. I mean,
that
again, I think it's the brain's trauma response to trauma, anxiety, and again, I don't think nobody is wrong. I just want everyone to understand that if you feel that way, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not. Your brain has just found a way to survive, and you're just stuck in that survival mode. And you can get over it and overcome it, and you don't have to feel like that every day. Because I don't anymore, and it's amazing.
Go ahead, Miss Fling.
I was just gonna say something that like I don't know, this is making me question like how I am in school, like as a teacher. Because I've been in like an active shooting situation a few years ago, and ever since then, like if I left the classroom, I would leave my phone on the desk. But now it's like I have to have my phone with me everywhere because if I go into the bathroom and a shooting happens, like I need to be able to let my family know, like I'm locked in the bathroom, or if like it's like always with me now. And before I used to like leave it, and it's just something that like that's just like a part of me now. I don't know. That just made me think of that. And I'm like, oh, what have I, you know, there are things like and living in New York City, like that's part of why I left New York City is because it was getting to be too much and I was having a difficult time like doing regular daily things like taking the subway because that's like where it happened right outside the school. So it was just like all these things just kept being like, okay, well, can't really fully relax anymore in this gosh dang place. So good times.
Yeah, it's tough. No, thank you for sharing. Really appreciate it because, you know, you start walking on eggshells when you don't have to sometimes, and it's something that throughout the years and for you, maybe, moving out of that place in order so you don't feel that way anytime that you're there, it's definitely helpful. Um,
I one thing that helped me along the way, and I know it sounds weird, but I'd like to boil it down to something small so I can grasp on it. So like for me, an analogy that helped me with dealing with stuff is if I if I touched a stove and it was hot and I got burned, I'm not going to be afraid of every stove that's out there, but I'm going to be more cautious and I'm going to look for signs that I'm going to get burnt again. But but I'm not terrified of every stove. I'm never going to not cook again because the stove's hot. I'm just going to be more cautious about touching a burner and getting burnt. Like, I'm not going to live terrified of. I'm not going to stay out of the kitchen because
You got burnt.
because I got burnt. Maybe once or twice. I learned my lesson, and then I started applying that to other stuff in life. Like, I know it's like the simplest, like really basic form, but it helped me grasp the fact that like I, like in a bigger aspect, I got cheated on by by a woman. I'm not gonna think every single woman's bad because that one broke my heart. I'm gonna have issues and I'm gonna work with them, but they're my issues and I'm not going to spread them to somebody else. But that's what helped me grasp the concept is I'm not gonna let it spread and affect because of one thing that had happened.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. Father Pooh here. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Yeah, so yeah, we can go through those experiences and apply them everywhere, but we have to be more aware that we have unconscious biases that determine our choices in life, and you don't even realize it. So, we can say that we do things, but it's very hard to get rid of those unconscious biases based off of prior situations. Thank you.
Pooh, what's a bias? What's an unconscious bias for those that don't? Some of us that we don't
Break
know.
it down for those who
Bias
don't
is
know.
like a prejudice, right? So it's like judging something before actually knowing, but like when you go through experiences, you start having your own prejudices about specific situations,
Stay in
and
character.
then
Stay in character, though.
it stays like, and then you think that you got over there, but unconsciously you might go into say a relationship and be like, you know what, not everybody's going to cheat on me. But then you go into this relationship and you start seeing things that kind of remind you of someone. That's an unconscious bias, and you're like starting to put those things in your pocket and be like, oh wait, maybe this isn't different, I don't know though. Like those are the things that you don't realize that you're thinking about.
Yeah, hence I see the signs of the stove that burnt me, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get burnt. We're talking about the same thing here. It's just used in its simplest form. And also, like I
Father
said,
Pooh here.
this is what worked for me as a person. Like we all have unconscious bias, like you said, but those are your unconscious bias. They're not mine. But it's just recognizing the signs and like I said that in the simplest form, but if you're dating somebody, you see these signs, say, hey, I have concerns because of past stuff. You might not be the same as the past person, but I just want to let you know that this is what happened. And these are my insecurities, and I'd like to tell you about them just so I don't get burnt again. Father Pooh.
That's very mature.
I'm only here for about 10 more minutes. Don't worry.
Hey, we love you here. What are you talking about?
No,
I thought she was gonna say I'm not here for a long time, just a
Let's
good
sit
time.
here
I
for a
was like,
good
oh
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
get out, bro.
I'm actually working. I'm just on a break right now, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you do have, and everyone has them. Once you go through trauma, you try not to do that, but that's what we're talking about. Identifying what these um, biases are in order for us to get over them and continue with our lives. Whatever the trauma was, whether it was in the military, whether it was not, it applies the same way. Identification is a must. And then, like Vob said, I really like that analogy, Vob, because it is bringing it down to the simplest form where everyone's cooked and they know, they can put it to that perspective. Thank you for that. Definitely awesome. And yeah, I don't know if I liked Father Pooh. That was weird. Let's come up with a better name.
That's okay. It's not your pronoun you need to worry about.
There you go.
Father
So
Pooh
going back
trying
to
to expound.
Go ahead, Banka.
I heard you saying you get itchy palms.
Yeah.
You get itchy palms, and I was gonna speak on it, but Bob started talking, and I didn't want to interrupt him, so I forgot completely what I was gonna say.
my God.
But it came back.
Yeah.
It came back. But I get gastritis as my anxiety trigger.
I
It's pretty
mean,
crazy.
yeah,
I
definitely.
know.
It's a big
I
one.
know.
People, sometimes get gastritis. Sometimes like that's an itchy one. What's another one for anyone if they want to share?
I shared it in the chat.
You get hungry?
Bubble guts.
Bubble guts. Bubble guts. Technically, it's
sweat.
gastritis. Yeah.
I don't know what
Sweat
gastritis is.
so bad. Like
yeah.
it's not good. Like my head will sweat.
When I'm anxious
I just
or
lost my
nervous,
hair.
I'll have to
Sweating?
poop.
Okay.
I just lost
Immediately.
my hair.
Yeah.
I have to go to the bathroom every time. And when I'm anxious or nervous about something, I'll have to go to the bathroom
But
immediately.
think about like what's happening that makes you go to the bathroom. Think about it like in a physical perspective. Like what makes you want to poop? Like your heart rate starts going up. Like you start going into this specific mode, and then you're like,
I just get stomach cramps, bro. There is no how do you feel? I'm nervous, my palms are sweaty, I'm freaking out. I don't notice anything other than I have to go to the bathroom.
She would father to poo at
Because
Eminem
usually
pool.
you're stuck in your head the whole time, so you don't really pay attention to what the telltale signs are. You just all of a sudden you're like, bam, this is bothering me.
Pooh. Pooh. I gotta say, I experienced the same. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I experienced the same. I tell you, when I was like a new supervisor, like my stomach pains got so bad, I had to grab a column, the thing going up, touching the ceiling and stuff. I had to grab that and like squeeze it and like hold myself up because my like stomach hurt so bad from the level of anxiety or stress and anxiety that was going on.
Yeah. And like Pooh said, like it's hard when you're in the middle of the of the eye of the storm to like pull yourself out, right? But this is what we're talking about here. So if you identify it, you can mostly the purpose of this is to make sure that you are able to pull yourself back from wherever you are into a third perspective and see the situation and see what's happening, identify your own symptoms. And, as we continue along the week, we'll talk about a little bit more about the understanding the anxieties and coping mechanisms with anxiety. But yeah, it's hard. You said it, Pooh. It's hard to know what's going on with you when it's happening to you. Absolutely. Some people have, harder symptoms like, I need to poop. Cool. But what's happening in your body that it makes you do that? I still don't know what happens when my palms itch. I can't redo that unless I'm in the water. But I
It's
think
a release of a chemical in your brain that causes those reactions that happen. I just can't remember what it is, what that chemical's called. But that's like it releases that chemical, and then that's my reaction. You have a different reaction, but it's the same thing that causes those reactions.
so. There's epinephrines and norepinephrines. What you're talking about, I believe. Yeah. And that's what releases is like the
You're an
flight or
epinephrine.
fight. You're an epinephrine.
What he called?
What you said to me? No, but yeah, it's to me it's fun to start talking about this because I'm not the only one that's experienced it, so I don't feel bad. Like, all right, let me say something crazy and weird. I feel like I'm gonna poop myself. You're like, oh yeah, me too, me too. Like it's then you start identifying like, okay, this is normal, but why? All right, how do we avoid that? How do we continue on without feeling like this? And like we said before, life is hard. Life will always challenge you. I don't use the words always and never a lot, but life will challenge you. And you just have to make sure that you're able to take on those challenges with a level head. It's hard to say it and do it, but to identify some of these issues, and we start with the small things like Bob said, like changing your diet. Instead of French fries, get a salad. Like little things, go for the walk on Wednesdays.
Why you gonna single me out like that? What the
Well, because no, no, not that way, bro.
No,
like
just like Vop switched to a salad. Yo,
No.
what the fuck, dude? That's crazy.
Ceasefire.
Nuts, dude.
Ceasefire.
Need a little bit more roughage in your diet there, bud?
Wow, I guess so. I guess a doctor's opinion is I need
No.
more fucking salad. That's crazy.
Go ahead, brother.
Need a little bit more fiber in that diet?
Oh,
I think with the anxiety soda
yeah.
is making sure that you're, if you want to like get, like, I'm just thinking about this, like what what Pooh was talking about with the anxiety and the stomach cramps, and kind of I seconded what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think to get through that without a mentor, like, you got to be able to decompress. Make sure that you set up time to decompress, so that way your body can handle it again the next day, until like you over time end up just getting better at handling the load.
Without a doubt, man, that's draining to your body. It's exhausting. Um, some people don't like to get out of their house because getting out, they create social anxieties that when they come back, they just want to sleep because it's mentally draining. It really is. Some people, what they call it, they put the face on, and that is taxing. You know, a lot of people understand that, like, you have to speak a certain way. You can't speak a certain other way because if you do, um, it's not proper. You don't want to go cursing in an elementary school. You know what I mean? When you know that's not appropriate. But that's if you curse and that's just the way you are. You got to find the situation, time, location, all that stuff. So when you put the face on, some people, get exhausted. And that's why they don't like to go out. Sometimes Discord is better, you know? Um, but it's just like Brent.
You're better.
I forgot where I was going with that one.
But and with the anxiety stuff, I tell you, like, even new things come up that like really throw you through a loop. What I can remember when I had one of my employees had a fucking seizure or whatever, epileptic shock. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Anyways, they had a seizure on the floor, like a real thug. And anyways, it was a big deal. I said this before. I already talked about this, so I'm not
Yeah.
going into it.
No,
But
go ahead.
dude, that was a new load of anxiety. That was a new load of like, holy shit, this is my job. I'm gonna be fired, and it's not. But it's something that you just have to go through, and there's stuff that's gonna happen to each and every one of us that we have to go through. So it's just.
No, I completely get it. And that's why we talk about this stuff because no one's talked about this to us before. Um, some of us have, but in the regular, I don't hear a lot of people coming out of the military talking to like saying, "Hey, yeah, we were talking about identification of anxiety and anxiety management strategies, and we want to be there." That's another one. Like if you throw it in the, last week when we're gonna be getting out of the military, I'm not gonna pay attention. No one does. Like they're just thinking, "I want to get out of here." If we do this faster, we'll get out by noon. They don't see the importance of how much this will be for your entire life. And that's why we're here because sometimes the military does not do their job in the transitional process, or there's some people that fall within the cracks, and we see it within the suicide rate and all these mental health issues and the things that a lot of veterans are having problems with. Brother, you mind muting?
I don't think he
I
can
don't think
hear.
you can hear.
You want me to server meet him?
Okay, you beat
Yeah.
me to it. Thank you. No, but yeah, it's a lot of the stuff that we've been talking here. It's like, that's so funny, Mac. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that the more we talk about it, the go ahead, JC.
Oh, so I know for me, like I used to be a very happy-go-lucky person, and I never really understood what mental health problems really were until after my traumas. And after those, I became a ball of anxiety. I was diagnosed with an anxiety-based disorder, PTSD, and it changed my lifestyle. It caused me to become shut in and isolated and just disconnected from everybody else because the anxiety was so bad. Um, and still to this day, I'm recovering from that changing my lifestyle. I'm doing my best to adjust my lifestyle because I've went through years of, as someone else was saying, that deprogramming of that mentality. And so I know with me, when I feel anxiety, I sweat, my mind unfocuses, and it starts racing, and I sometimes lose control. I know for me, my anxiety can get so bad that I can slip into psychosis and become paranoid of everything, and that's not a good place for me to be. And so, uh, I, for one, am big on doing what you can to reduce anxiety because of those things that I've been through. And for me, it's I know that we'll probably cover this in a later day, so I won't cover it now. But there are methods to reduce anxiety out there. So
Doc, are you muted?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Yeah, J-Ski, like you said, it's gonna. I'm glad you said it because Plum said it too. It's gonna take time for us to change our ways and be more open into what we're afraid of, whatever the stressor would be, whether it be that your kids are safe, whether it be from your PTS, or whether it be from a relationship. Understanding these types of symptoms and accepting it, that's the biggest thing. So we can start working on it ourselves is huge. So thank you for sharing. And yeah, it's gonna take time. It's not like, all right, I got to do this for a week and I'll be good. Man, I wish it worked that way because
it took me almost 10 years to get to a point to where I could start getting better. You
yeah,
know, so
yeah,
Yeah, me too, actually. And it got worse, way worse before it ever got
same,
better. And let
same.
me tell you, it's a vicious cycle because you have anxiety. That anxiety causes you to lose sleep, and then your sleep causes you to become paranoid, and your paranoia feeds your anxiety, and it
Yes,
just keeps
yes.
going until
And
you
then
are
and then you hit that
mentally,
burnout
yeah.
state of
Oh,
where
I
like
can't
you
do this
just
anymore.
can't do it anymore, and you
Yep.
just sleep for like 2 days straight.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
um any last save rounds?
I so I mean this in the nicest way possible, but it's hearing stuff like this from, like Jay and Plum that is the reason when like I make my son do things when we go out, and like I've told him like it's okay to be afraid. It's not okay to let that fear run your life. Like we'll go out, I'm like, what do you want to eat? And he'll tell me, I'm like, I don't work here. Don't tell me. Tell the waitress, and he'll just like look at her or them, and he'd just be scared. Like it's okay to be scared, but like you're letting it take over your life, and eventually, like if it becomes too much, you're not going to be able to function in life. Like and that's a big fear of mine is I see how people struggle. I've struggled, and I don't want him to have to struggle. I want him to be better, and I want him to address these problems when he's 13, 14 years old. So that way, when something happens later on in life, it's not like, shit, I can't do this because that. It's like, no, it's okay. I'm scared, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to live said experience in life.
I actually agree with that. I mean, to be honest with you, everyone tells you just, my family was like, just get over it, but nobody ever gave me the tools to help me get over it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, I agree with that too. That's what I do with my kids. I tell them if you're scared, just 30 seconds. You just need 30 seconds. Just be brave for 30 seconds. If you can get past that point and keep going with whatever you're doing, that's great. If you can't get past in 30 seconds, take a break and then try again. I've always done that.
That's
I maybe
awesome.
should have like reined it in a little because now my kid has like these 30-second bursts of like talk back, but I told him 30 seconds. 30 seconds of bravery. Conejo, you're muted.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you saw me do the push-ups, dog. That's it.
I did not see
I
them.
didn't either.
I saw them. Good job, Konjo.
I came back just because of you. Because of you. But hey,
I saw you
I
come
really like
in
the
and we
topic,
were
bro. Sorry I
talking.
missed
We
it,
didn't
but
get to say hi, and then you just left, and I was like, "But where's the push-ups? I have to feel guilty for not doing the push-ups."
Bonka, what is going on? It's Monday. What's, you know? No, hey man, you guys are on an incredible topic, bro. I'm really glad, man. I like look at this. Look at MVP and the morning mix not losing its flavor, bro. Look at that. I love you guys.
Love you, big dog. Last call. Save rounds? No? Going once? Going twice? Hey, thank you
I
everyone
brought my
for
daughter's
It
milk
is
for lunch.
always acceptable too to fulfill a what if with a what if. I'm gonna leave that in the air.
There's
I
a
do.
movie called What If coming out with Ryan Reynolds. Just throwing that out there.
Sometimes I'm like, yeah, shit could pop off at the campus. But you know what I say to myself? What if that's the moment? Fucking the beast comes alive. They'll be on the news. They'll be like, he massacred all of the Taliban by himself. Okay, I'm just having a moment.
Shout out to Cashier Mac.
Spin that wheel.
Wait, before anyone, is anyone streaming right now? And if you are, if you have any viewers, have they been conversing or been listening, please let us know so we can put them in the $10 gift card raffle that we have here. Put it on the chat. And again,
Is
thank
Mac in there?
Mac.
Where is Mac? You guys keep saying his name, but I do not see him.
And Legion.
My stream.
Legion Shadow.
Why are you being this way? Don't.
No, not.
He's in there. He's in there. As
Yeah,
well.
he's in there.
Personalities get more than one spin.
Put
Legion on there.
Pen.
Oh, I see him.
Oh, is that you?
So you got to
No. Yeah.
It's Father Poo, by the way.
Oh yes, that is
So
Father
put
Poo.
Father Poo on there.
Puppy Poo. I love that one. I
Poppy
love
Yes,
that one.
So I just got a message from Snickers.
Uh-huh.
So she recently bought a house, and she just got featured in an article for Supermom. And she texted me. She's like, "Tell everybody that I missed them, and I'll be back in the summer."
Oh, that's awesome.
But just posted on
That's
I just posted the
amazing.
link in the chat in case you guys want to read it. And just FYI, I think there's a bunch of super moms because Blanca's a super mom, Carito's a super mom. I know there's a bunch of moms in here, future moms to be too. Super moms.
Super moms.
And super dads.
Mm-hmm. Super dads too.
Mm.
Don't
should be shared.
Don't do
but-
the don't
I
do
know,
the
it's like
Bob-
it's like single
super
moms trying to take
parents.
over on Father's Day, and you're like, whoa.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Share it, but also, how many of y'all
Super parents.
fucking threw up for 3 months?
I mean, we all had our. We had to deal with
Some
you guys
men
throwing
go
up.
through
So.
I used to
shared
drink a lot,
symptoms.
so
Some
If-
men go
if-
through
if-
shared symptoms.
Moms
All right,
have their
last
days,
chance.
dads
Last
have
call.
their days.
Oh,
Come
Sergeant
on now.
Thunder Thighs.
I'm just kidding. I love you all.
Jay and Doc said they should be taken
I already got him in there.
All right, that's it.
Anyone want to be taken off who's gonna say, "Oh, I don't want my, I don't know, spin it again."
You know, is
Trunk,
Leak in there?
That's why I took him
Leak
off.
is in there.
Is
Fleeky,
Leak-
right
Leak's
on the
in there?
door. Yeah.
Take Limp off.
who's leaking?
Limp doesn't care.
You just want to make
Bob
sure that Leak's
always
in
making sure Leaky Leaks in there.
there. Yeah, he got left out
Are
that
you
one time, and I'll never forget it.
I know.
And he won. How is that even
Okay.
possible?
Trunks.
Yeah, he.
Okay,
yeah,
let's
that's right, he won.
go.
He wasn't even on there.
It's a little discombobulated this Monday, but we're doing it. Pandora! Congratulations, Pandora. I'm doing
Pandora, send me a message on Discord, please.
Rigged.
Watch him be like, "Oh, hey, I don't want it."
No, I'll let her know. I don't know if she's.
Give it to someone else.
Yeah, she's in the chat.
Double spins today?
Multiple spins?
Nope.
Oh.
That's
She's
only
like,
when
I was
Doc
just trying to
wins.
close
'cause-
it out and it spin. Got everybody
Yeah.
excited and shit.
My
Bro,
bad,
Rudder's out there
homies.
getting it, bro. Rudder's out there like me, dog. Look at him. Look at
Yeah.
fucking getting it, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Gotta make that money.
Hell yeah, let's get it, bro. Let's get this fucking money, dog. Let's go.
Arnell don't like my ass sitting around. I gotta fucking drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're able to make it. Tomorrow is book day, and also next week on the weekend we have the 24 for 22. If you see any social media from Facebook, Instagram of our streamers, please share it. let everyone know that they're going to be endeavoring in a 24-hour stream, a collaborative 24-hour stream with MVP in order to bring donations in. Go ahead.
Have me on standby like last time, just in case.
Roger that. I mean, I'm getting sick at 4 in the morning.
Nobody better do that. I had that shift last time and I didn't cough at all.
Yeah.
Call with
Without
John
spreading
in
the
the
Rona.
coffee
What's
cup.
wrong with you guys?
No, but the stream shift is out, and you're going to see a lot of social media. Please post it out there. Make sure you get that. And also, we have the MVP charity trip coming up for Memorial Day weekend in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you have any questions, concerns, you want to show up, make sure you contact Bonka so she can put you on the RSVP list, and please pass it around. Other than that,
Doc and or Plum, I need y'all before y'all leave.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll call you.
Go ahead. I just need to talk to y'all before y'all leave out of the chat.
That iPro's giving me memories.
yeah, so I'm going to pass on the stream. I'm going to raid out. And thank you, everyone, for coming. Appreciate y'all. And then from there, I'll restart my stream and start some gaming. It's just better because there's a lot of people working on MVP on the YouTube channel that this is going to be going over there. And it's best that we do it that way. It's just better. And I appreciate everyone that's been working on the social media aspect, MVP, YouTube videos, and everything. It's putting in a lot of hard work. And if you can, please go ahead and share it because not only you're helping MVP, but there's a lot of people working hard here to make sure that the nation knows about the mental health approach that we're bringing here because a lot of people don't know about it and we're trying to get out there. So again, everyone, thank you for being here. We're going to be coming back on Wednesday, talking a little bit more about anxiety. Don't get anxious about it, though. All right, I'm going to rate out. Love y'all.
Wait, stop what you're doing right now and check this out.
Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service.